Bahashim, Yahushai, Bahashim Rakakwadash.
Give double honors to our apostles at Great Millstone, who taught us his truth, and sincere shalom out there to elect teaches truth, and sincerity in these last days. All right, we're here in usual spot, and they got the No Kings protest going on. It's going on nationwide today. Okay, and it's just another more distractions, more uproars of the people. Okay, but our people don't consider, man, because it's mostly Jake and Esau out here, man. That's pretty much all it really is Jake and Esau. Here it is, you got Jakes that'll claim that they don't like these Edomites, so on and so forth, and they hate white people. We have to march side by side with them when it comes to that shit. Total hypocrisy. So I'm going to start with Isaiah 1 and 3. Isaiah 1 and 3. The ox knoweth his owner, and his ass the master's crib. But Israel doth not know. My people doth not consider. The ox knoweth his owner, and the ass his master's crib. But Israel doth not know. My people doth not consider.
Yeah, that's the state of our people. They don't understand who their power is, and who to actually worship. Because at the end of the day, you got our people into other gods. They're into different forms of worship other than Yahweh Bashim Yahushai. Go ahead.
And you Jakes out there that are part of these immigrant protests, waving these Mexican flags, okay? You're not Mexican. You're Issacharite. That's what they don't consider, who they are as a people. Verse 4. Sinful nation, a people laden with iniquity, a seed of evildoers, children that are corrupters. They have forsaken the Lord. They have provoked the Holy One of Israel unto anger. They are gone away backward.
Yeah, it said that they're a sinful nation, a seed of evildoers, and children that are corrupters. And a lot of our people are engaging in the things of this society when really they should be focused on how they're going to be delivered by the Lord. Because at the end of the day, this protesting shit don't mean nothing. The Lord's still going to destroy this place, all right? And it's a bunch of people just wasting space. It's to no avail.
You're going to have Israelite groups, and you're going to have Israelite groups that are probably going to be in some of these protests today, man.
Yeah, and that's not a wise thing to do. A lot of you, we do see people with signs and shit down here, but we're not gonna go actually into the midst of the This is our normal camp spot. We're not gonna go into the midst of the protest to try to prove a point, because that's not wise, man. It's actually more wise to avoid that type of shit, because we're out here to actually do a job, and we want the word to go forward. We want the words of the Lord to go forward. So you don't want to bring yourself into a chaotic area where it's a bunch of bullshit.
And Yahweh Shai said, "This for my kingdom, then my servants would fight." By partaking in that kind of protest, you're pretty much fighting for this kingdom.
And we're gonna see it. We're gonna see it. You're gonna see, if you're going through your feed and you subscribe to some of these guys, you're gonna see that they're gonna be in the midst of these things, trying to teach. Meanwhile, the average American is completely stupid. But you going out there trying to give them, y'all immigrants don't need to be protesting. You Israelites, man, ain't trying to hear that shit, man. All right, they out there fucking with signs and shit. They ain't trying to pay attention to that 12 tribe sign.
That's right. To say, following on a multitude
to do evil.
And
like I said, what Jake should be focused on is salvation, not a stupid protest that's to no avail. Now, if you're out there and somebody comes up to you and say, "What are you guys protesting?" No, we're not protesting. We're teaching the words of the Lord. It has nothing to do with no dumbass protest. Actually, America's gonna be destroyed, which I was gonna open up with Isaiah 47. Because this place is sitting in the dust right now. It's confused. Society is sitting in confusion. All right, which if you want to grab that Society,
Sort up, though.
society is sitting in confusion. You know. Go ahead.
This is Isaiah 47:1. Come down and sit in the dust, O virgin daughter of Babylon. Sit on the ground. There is no throne, O daughter of the Chaldeans. For thou shalt no more be called tender and delicate.
Yeah, look what's going on right now. Look around you. It's a bunch of people protesting about something that they never really cared about. Since when the hell did Americans become so concerned with illegal immigrants? Since when? And then on the way here, Yasharan was like, "Oh shit, it was another attack over there with Israel and Iran, an updated attack." So they over here talking about this dumb shit, but in the Middle East, things are actually brewing up and heating up for the Third World War.
The price of oil went up like almost 10% in one day. Here it is. The markets were starting to stabilize because of these tariffs and the new administration and that, and inflation was starting to come down. And then there goes the market instability again, man.
No, you good. Yeah, so like if you got a head on your shoulders, you should be focused on what's really going on and not getting caught up in the distractions and the same routines that the elites pull on you all the time. Because anything, I'll say 9 times out of 10, 9.5 times out of 10, anything that these elite put on your everyday media is to distract you.
Yep.
Go ahead.
Verse 2, take the millstones and grind meal, uncover thy locks, make bare the leg, uncover the thigh, pass over the rivers. Thy nakedness shall be uncovered, yea, thy shame shall be seen. I will take vengeance, and I will not meet thee as a man.
And that's symbolic for this place being revealed. All right, it's being revealed on every side possible, and that's via the prophets coming out here teaching the truth, breaking down strongholds. All right, and speaking on the truth of the matter. Because none of this stuff that you see around, all of this stuff that you see around you is really smoke and mirrors. All right, it's really just smoke and mirrors, man.
And the script, and just like it says, thy nakedness shall be uncovered. That's pretty much the nakedness of this whore being uncovered.
Yep.
America back when I was growing up used to be the good guy. And now the whole world is chanting death to America right now.
Not to correct you too much, but she would hide behind as the good guy.
Yeah.
She's never the good guy. But I get what you're saying.
But around the world, it was kind of seen as
they were looked at as the hero.
Yeah. And now nobody trusts this bitch.
Yeah. So now everybody's seeing this place for what it is, ultimately. We seeing some weak ass signs and shit.
Oh, yeah,
I think they're down there. Yeah, they around.
I was talking to him and he's like, yo, you should come with us.
Hyping their ass up. I just be hyping them up, like, fucking with them and shit.
IUIC's probably down there. ISUPK's probably down there too. Verse 4. As for our Redeemer, the Lord of hosts is his name, the Holy One of Israel. Sit thou silent and get thee into darkness, O daughter of the Chaldeans.
Yeah, so read the first part again. As for our Redeemer.
As for our Redeemer, the Lord of hosts is his name.
Right, that's what we should be focused on. We should be focused on our power and his name and how he's going to take us out of this situation. Right? But the majority of our people, like we started with Isaiah 1 and 3, but is not considered. The majority of our people, they focused on these different things that's taking place, all right, on the earth that's to no avail, like I said. They worried about a protest. They worried about things that they see on TV. They worried about the latest trends. They're not focused on our Redeemer, the Lord of hosts. That's what we're focused on, because the Lord gave us the capability to see what he's getting ready to bring on the earth, the terrors and things of that nature. So seeing that he gave us the capabilities to be able to see what he's getting ready to bring, we have the wisdom and the capabilities to be able to get ready for it. All right? We're not in darkness like the rest of these people. So we actually get to brace ourselves before the coming calamities rather than be caught off guard. Go ahead.
Verse 5, sit thou silent and get thee into darkness, O daughter of the Chaldeans, for thou shalt no more be called the lady of kingdoms.
Yeah, like Yash just said, you used to be known as the so-called good guy, right? You had this image to where you would, back in the day, you would be the hero or Superman.
Bringing freedom and democracy.
Yeah,
around
good
the world.
good old America coming to save the day, but you were never the good guy. You just was hiding behind a mask. But now the mask is even off, and now the world is seeing how fucking ugly you are.
And that democracy shit, you know, as you grow in this truth, not just, you know, spiritually, but physically, you start to see how ridiculous that democracy shit is, man. Because these people are too stupid to understand what a real ruler is, man. You know, rulers are supposed to have like a authoritarian spirit about it, man. You know?
The average person that lives on the soils of America, they have no brain. They have no brain. They don't know how to think the correct way because the foods and everything is so tainted, and the drinks that you drink and the gossip and the madness that they feed you is constantly dumbing you down. You're always on a stupid algorithm. You know, it dumbs you down.
All your opinions are formed from social media and the media.
Yep.
You know, just like NPCs.
Go ahead.
Verse
What up,
6.
bro? What up?
I was wroth with my people. I have polluted my inheritance and given them into thy hand. Thou didst show them no mercy upon the ancient, as thou very heavily laid thy yoke. And thou saidst, I shall be a lady forever, so that thou didst not lay these things to thy heart, neither remember the latter end of it.
Yeah, and right now America is 249 years old exactly. Since 1776, I believe it's 249 years old, and it's been going around. Brothers have been sharing that the average kingdom its span is roughly 250 years. So this place is basically, if you look at the state of America and you see what's going on in America, and you look at that, it's like when you're watching a basketball game, it'll say 85% of the teams that's down 3-1 go on to lose the series, right? So that's like a stat.
That's another big distraction right now, the NBA Finals, man.
Yeah.
You had all this shit happen in the last 48 hours. Israel attacking Iran, Iran attacking Israel. Last night you had the fucking, those two senators getting shot. And now it's coming out this morning that, what's his name? Tim Walz might be involved.
Yeah, all sports in general and entertainment and bread and circus is set up for distractions, you know? But like I said, this place is 249 years old and it's going on 250. So we know that, hey, that's a sign from the Lord right there. That's a sign from Yahweh Bashem Yahushai that this place is at the end. Go ahead.
I was wroth with my people. Verse 6. I was wroth with my people. I have polluted my inheritance and given them into thy hand. Thou didst show them no mercy upon the ancient, as thou very heavily laid thy yoke. And thou saidst, I shall be a lady forever, so that thou did not lay these things to thy heart, neither didst remember the latter end of it. Verse 8. Therefore hear now this, thou that art given to pleasures, that dwellest carelessly. And you can't tell me that ain't talking about these average Americans, man. They love pleasure. They're addicted to it. You know? You give them a basic set of pleasures, like some blunts and some games or some entertainment, some Netflix, and they're good, man. They'll sit there and be slaves forever. Especially Jake. You know, he's a homeborn slave. Therefore, hear now this, thou that art given to pleasures.
From there, go to Jeremiah 51:7. All right, go ahead.
That dwellest carelessly, that sayest in thy heart, I am and none else beside me. I shall not sit as a widow, neither shall I know the loss of children.
Yeah, so that's basically this place denying its end, if you will. And what the hell is that no king shit? What is that? What are they talking about with that?
They acting like
Oh, well, he is a king.
It's an anti
Yeah, he is a king. He's the king of Babylon. Now, he's not a king as if we would worship him, but the Lord set him up as a king. You know? Yeah, hey.
Yeah, they got all this.
If these people knew the scriptures, they would know that the Lord set him. Biden was a king. America has a different king, like every 4 to 8 years, a different king. They just call it a president, right? Or back in the day in Rome, they would call it a Caesar. Caesar was the king, technically.
Yep, and then they're saying that a lot of these sleeper cells that they're warning us about might be getting active. You know,
If it was a double F in Buffalo, oh, I would be happy as hell. That should be crazy, bro.
Because they got
Like American flag day?
yeah.
Okay, well that makes sense then. You know the elite like to play and shit.
They got like they warned us about all of the sleeper cells that are around, man. You know, I'll take. I mean, think about it. These police out here, they're all distracted. You know, it don't take much for someone to slip in there.
Right. Go ahead.
The book of Jeremiah, chapter 51, verse 7. Babylon hath been a golden cup in the Lord's hand that made all the earth drunkard. The nations have drunk of her wine, therefore the nations are mad. Babylon is suddenly fallen and is destroyed. How for her take balm for her pain, if so she may be healed.
Yeah, it says Babylon is suddenly fallen and destroyed. But you got people that's out here trying to stand up for this place. Right? The scriptures say that it's suddenly fallen and destroyed. Who gives a fuck about, first of all, the ones that are getting, the ones of our people that are getting judged, those is more than like, those are the 2/3. Go ahead.
It say, we have healed, we would have healed Babylon, but she is not healed. Forsake her and let her go. Everyone into his own country, for her judgment reaches into the heavens.
Yeah, so the Bible tells us that this place cannot be healed. No matter what type of policy you come up with, no matter what type of infrastructure plan you come up with, no matter what type of laws you try to pass to settle the economy and the inflation, it's over. She cannot be healed.
Yeah, the inflation reports were good for 3 months in a row, and then Israel attacked Iran,
And now the U.S. is saying, that they're gonna help now.
Hey, Trump mocked his Iran. He said the peace negotiations are still underway, and it's just not everybody will be joining us on the next meetings.
See?
Because they killed so many.
Yeah. He said that they killed his negotiator,
Yeah.
the guy he was negotiating with.
This verse 10, it says, the Lord hath brought forth our righteousness. Come, let us declare in Zion the work of the Lord, our power. Make bright the arrows and gather the shields. The Lord hath raised up the spirit of the kings of the Medes, for his device is against Babylon to destroy it.
And that time is coming to where the Lord is getting ready to put the U.S. against Russia. The thing that's going to spark that is what's going on now. It's going to be Israel and Iran. Now, the U.S. backs Israel and Russia backs Iran.
Yeah, they got to.
Yeah.
They got to because they just formed the alliance and they just doubled down on that alliance. Russia, China, and who was it? Somebody else? I think it was North Korea, but I know Russia, Iran, and China. And they just doubled down. They said if America attacked
Iran,
that they was going
Russia and China is
protect
to back them. Yeah.
That's the least of the flock.
Yep.
Because whatever the 1948ers do, America always follows suit. You know, they're always right there, standing hand in hand with them. This is real quick. Jeremiah 49:20. Therefore, hear the counsel. Actually,
Let me finish this.
okay.
say, the Lord hath raised up the spirit of the kings of the Medes for his device is against Babylon to destroy it, because it is the vengeance of the Lord and the vengeance of his temple.
Yeah, so that's the vengeance of the Lord is to destroy America. And that's exactly what the Bible is telling you. And anybody who wants to save this place, all right, you're wicked too. Because you believe you have all these different type of freedoms and that this is the greatest place in the world. But when you look at its policies and what it stands for, it's all corrupt and wickedness. And that's how it was built. And if you're a righteous man, you can see that.
Even if you're one of them people that's waving them Mexican flags, man, you really just love it here. You don't want to go back to Mexico. You're full of shit. You love that this place allows you to do so much wickedness without
Consequences.
yeah, without consequences. Completely full of shit. Besides, some of you fat folks, you wouldn't last a week down in the tough parts of Mexico, man. But yet they claim to hate, like I said earlier, they claim to hate Esau, hate white people, but yet they don't mind when a bunch of green-haired white girls are marching.
Yeah, because men love darkness rather than light.
Yep.
I was talking to this girl, and she was, I said, don't you want, I was like, you want heaven to come tomorrow? She's like, yo, no, I'm not done living my life. Like,
That's wicked as
it's
hell.
heaven.
Right.
I'm like, heaven is way better. She's like, no. They don't got the faith, though.
Yeah, that's crazy.
They don't got the faith.
They want imperfection. And that's what America is. America is a big ass pile of imperfection. Like, we trying to, here it is, and that's why we hate it here, because we trying to be righteous, but I think Tupac said that one time. He said, yo, how am I gonna be an angel in the whole, in the world full of darkness or some shit, even though he was a nigga. But you trying to be righteous in an imperfected society. That's everything we eat. We gotta look on the back of the shit to see if it's poison or if it's swine in there or something like that. You can't even pick up something and just know that it's good to eat.
You gotta be a Christian information
Yeah.
expert, man, on everything.
You can't just pick shit up here because you gotta read.
When you order herbs online, man, sometimes they come in the supplements. Sometimes this shit come in the gelatin can.
So that's what happened when I did that. When I had a cleanse, I was doing a cleanse. I bought it from GNC, and before I took it, I looked on the back of it. It was like a veggie cleanse, and the shit had gelatin in it.
I ordered the Longhorn and got a steak. I ordered macaroni and cheese. The motherfucker stand there and put bacon in that shit.
Just regular.
I'm like,
No, it just comes with it. Like, nah, bro. What happened to the regular Mac? You know?
you gotta ask for it without the.
I thought bacon in this society was like an extra gourmet. They upcharge you. Now they just giving this shit away. It's really funny seeing Edomites march for immigrants, man. It's funny to me because it's just I ain't never seen it. You know, usually it's get the fuck out of our country, go back home. But I guess it's because they don't like Trump, so now they doing this shit. Like, damn. Go ahead.
And they paying a lot of these protesters.
Yeah, it came out. Like I said, I seen in some cities they was getting thousands of dollars to do that shit. It was more than 200.
I seen the joint 12,000.
Yeah, that's the one I seen. It was like between $6,000 and $12,000 and shit. So, you know,
But you get 200, you get bigger out here. 200 here.
it's no king, no crown, no way. Hey, but you know what? All of these people who are protesting against Trump, the Lord gonna put the spirit on Trump to really put his horns out and implement martial law on you people.
That's what we're excited about, man.
In the military, the one thing about the military is they listen to that nigga. He's got a special connection with the military, man.
They wouldn't have listened to Biden. They wouldn't listen. Martial law wouldn't have flew with Biden. You know.
Now
I always thought that.
it is an unlawful order for him to deploy the U.S. troops on his own citizens. But while they was out there, Those troops, they said that they didn't have rights like the police. You know, they were just out there to control it. But the truth of the matter is, when martial law hits, it ain't gonna be none of that type of shit. It's gonna be all out war on the people. All right, and that's when you people gonna see a lot of the foreign troops come in and reign supreme on the American people. But go ahead, though. Where was we at?
About to bring out Lisa the Flock Show.
Go ahead.
This is Jeremiah 15:45. Therefore, hear ye the counsel of the Lord that he hath taken against Babylon, which is modern day America. Okay, modern day Babylon is America. And his purpose is that he hath proposed against the land of the Chaldeans. Surely the least of the flock shall draw them out. Surely he shall make their habitation desolate with them. And we're seeing the precursors of World War III being set up, man, with the chess pieces. And whatever these 1948ers do, America always has their back. But at the end of the day, it's going to lead to their destruction. That's why it says it shall make their habitation desolate. You know?
And it tells us that you shall hear wars and rumors of wars, but the end is not yet. These are the beginning of sorrows. That's what we're doing. We're entering into the time of the beginning of sorrows. All right? Because there still has to be like it's we're still gonna see civil war on the souls of America. The CHIP is gonna be implemented. All right? So we're still gonna see particular things before World War III actually takes place. So we're entering into those stages of the beginning of sorrows, a famine, a pestilence. There's gonna be a time in America where there's gonna be no food in the stores, no food in the stores, man.
You have to rely on faith then.
So we're in the precursor. It's like when the CV hit and you went in there and there was no food. The Lord is gonna send a worse pestilence, a worse famine. Your fucking water is gonna be dried up. You ain't gonna be able to have no running water from coming from a faucet. Go ahead.
It's Jeremiah 51:12. Set up the standard upon the walls of Babylon. Make the watch strong. Set up the watchmen. Prepare the ambushes. For the Lord have both devised and done that which he spake against the inhabitants of Babylon.
All of these people is fucking missile food, man. Go ahead.
O thou that dwellest upon many waters,
That's the great war.
abundant in treasures,
Yep.
thy end is come, in the measure of thy covetousness. And that's how you know it's talking about America. It says that's
Abundant in many waters. It says that in Revelation.
yeah. It tell you they tell you it's no way to really invade America without America seeing it coming because it takes so long to get here. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, got the ocean.
You can shoot a missile and shit, but
If it was like the older days when you had to go by ship, they would see you coming.
yeah.
You know. That's why the Lord set it up that way. He like just shoot them, like just miss, shoot the missiles.
Even Iran got like we actually had one too. Israel we had the mountains that
the watchmen and shit, they would see.
but it was hard to get up there. That's why they would have to try to starve us out and shit. Because it was hard. We had the advantage. We had the high ground. But Iran got like a natural mountain surrounding them, where it's hard to these deserts and stuff surrounding them too. That's why they attack you. Verse 14. The Lord of hosts hath sworn by himself, saying, surely I will fill thee with men as with caterpillars, and they shall lift up a shout against you. He hath made the earth by his power, and hath established the world by his wisdom, and hath stretched out heaven by his understanding. When he uttereth
shows you how powerful the Lord is. He's in control of everything. And like, see, we literally in the matrix right now, right? We basically walking around, well, we're not walking around, we standing here teaching, and we're seeing the people around us and how lost they are. The Lord has them in derision. You know? They looking at us like, what the fuck are they doing? But we looking at you like, yo, you get ready to die.
Yeah, they don't know what's going on.
Yeah, you get ready to die, man. You know? So it's like, y'all looking at us, but we looking at you like, yo, you don't know that death is coming. Death is coming. But you looking at us like everything is all good, and we looking at you like, yo, we got the drop. Like,
men's hearts,
you know,
failing them for fear.
Yeah.
That's how bad the time is coming.
And that's why we not ashamed to stand out here and teach the words of the Lord, because we got the spiritual drop, man. There's nothing to be ashamed of. You know? Go ahead.
This is verse 19. The portion of Jacob is not like them, for he is the former of all things. And Israel is the rod of his inheritance.
You can feel the
Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai is his name. Thou art my battle axe and weapons of war, for with thee will I break in pieces the nations,
Yep.
and with thee will I destroy the kingdoms. And with thee I will break in pieces horse and his rider.
This is talking about Jacob, Israel. We're gonna be used. And look at, that's the nigga woman right there blowing the fucking horn. We're gonna be used to further the Lord's agenda, man. Go ahead.
And with thee I will break in pieces the chariot and his rider. And with thee also I will break in pieces man and woman. And with thee I will break in pieces old and young.
Yeah, that's symbolic for the people. Go ahead.
And with thee I will break in pieces young man and maid. I will also break in pieces with thee the shepherd and his flock. And with thee I will break in pieces the husbandman and his yoke of oxen.
And that precept reminds me of Ezekiel 9. Because the Lord is not going to spare. Right? And that's why we fight to be of the elect in the first fruits. Because the Lord is going to use us to get busy. Go ahead.
And I will render unto Babylon and to all the inhabitants of Chaldea all their evil that they have done in Zion in your sight, saith Yahweh.
Yeah, and that proves that this place is always doing some wicked shit. Because the Lord is going to have to recompense you for it. I've never seen such a nation of stupid ass people, man. You
Laughs at you.
yeah, you have no idea what's going on. You just stupid, man.
Say, behold, I am against thee, O destroying mountain, saith Yahweh, which destroyeth all the earth. And I will stretch out my hand upon you, and will roll you down from the rocks, and I will make you a burnt mountain. And they shall not take of thee a stone for a corner, nor a stone for foundation, but thou shalt be desolate forever, saith Yahweh.
And that's one of the reasons why. You got fucking creatures rolling around here, fucking strutting around. The scripture said you could tell a man by his gait. And that shit is allowed. And this was the ancient world. That motherfucker would be in the ground, man.
There's no other nation where you got a pride going on.
Yeah.
That ain't going on for
And these motherfuckers,
Eastern nation.
yeah, and they get to walk around and just look at you like it's like. That's why it says in the scriptures, man, Leviticus 20 and 13, bro. Like, you shouldn't even be walking. You shouldn't even be allowed to walk if that's how you're giving it up in your life. And Edomites not gonna look us in the face in the kingdom neither. Just like how you used to tell us to keep your head down. Right. There's only gonna be pretty Edomite concubines is gonna be able to look at me. Everybody else better have their fucking heads down, man. Don't look at me. I looked at you long enough in captivity. Don't look at me.
Hey, these when people go to meet the Rothschilds, they're not allowed to look them in the fucking face. You know?
And they're peasants. Go ahead.
They used to be the Bowers, which that word means peasant or peasantry.
red shield, and Esau Edom is red. His blood shows forth through his skin. You can see it.
Go ahead. Jeremiah 28:8, and I'm holding Isaiah 13:2. The prophets that have been before me and before thee of old prophesied both against many countries and against great kingdoms, of war and of evil and of pestilence.
The same thing you see today amongst the elect men in different camps. You see a lot of these camps, what I'm noticing is they don't even prophesy against America.
No.
It's just like they find topics to talk about in debate, but none of them are actually prophesying the downfall of and the destruction of America. That's like a trendy thing now. Like, it's always a debate. Nobody's talking about end time prophecy, man. You only really see that amongst Great Millstone. You know, everybody's got niggas put in boot camp programs. You got other Israelites taken away from the actual doctrine. Now this doesn't mean this. This doesn't mean this. This doesn't mean this. They're going backwards.
Taking out Paul's letters.
They're going backwards, man, instead of forward. You know?
You'd rather sit there and bicker back and forth over YouTube platform, man.
Yeah, America's not the lake of fire, and amongst other doctrines, just going backwards.
Being Apostle Gabar called them showmen, wearing the baseball hats, fucking samurai swords. Well, that's ridiculous shit. Jeremiah 28:8. The prophets that have been before me and before thee of old prophesied both against many countries and against great kingdoms, of war and of evil and of pestilence. The prophet which prophesied of peace, when the word of the prophet shall come to pass, then shall the prophet be known that the Lord hath truly sent him. So the Lord is sending us out here to destroy this place spiritually.
Yeah, we're putting out the vibration. That's how America was started to circle the drain. Put out the vibration.
So that when it finally happens, then we can finally have some fucking peace, man. You got all these people that want to go on social media and go, oh, I want peace in the world. I don't want war break out between Israel and Iran. We want that shit, man. That's the only way that there's going to be peace. Those fucking 1948ers, man. Those 1948ers, all right? The House of Amalek, they own like 90 to 95% of the wealth in the world, man.
It's not going to be peace until the true Israelites are back in rulership.
These people want to talk about no kings. What about the Amalekites, man? Think that one Rothschild has more power than any sitting president or prime minister or whatever they call that shit in other countries.
Get in Revelation where it says, rejoice over her, thou holy apostles and prophets. Because that's what we're to do once this place is destroyed, is to rejoice. And rather you people like it or not, whoever, whether it's Trump or somebody else, whoever is in rulership, once the hour of martial law takes place, they're going to act as a dictator and a king. So the Lord is going to put you in a position where you don't have no choice but to accept it. All right, whoever the president is during that time is going to be the new Kim Jong-un in this motherfucker. Go ahead, bro. I think it's 17. I don't know if it's at the end of Revelation or the end of Revelation.
Okay, I got it. Revelation 18 and 19. Actually, 17. For in 1 hour so great riches is come to naught, and every shipmaster and all the company and ships and sailors and as many as trade by sea stood afar off, and cried when they saw the smoke of her burning, saying, what city is like unto this great city?
Yeah, they cried when they saw the smoke of her burning. So that's a key point to show you that this place is going to be nuked. It's already prophesied.
Go ahead. Saying, what city is like unto this great city? And they cast dust on their saying, Alas, alas, that great city, wherein were made rich, all that had ships in the sea by reason of her costliness, for in 1 hour is she made desolate. Rejoice over her, thou heaven, and ye holy apostles and prophets.
So the Lord is ordering us through the writings of John the Revelator to, once America is destroyed, to rejoice. Because by that time, the elect is going to be in the ships. So if you're really thinking about it like a movie, we probably going to be in the ships clapping, hugging each other, crying, praying, praising the name of the Lord, call Yahweh Shemi Shai. You know, I could actually like see that taking place.
And we're gonna have our new bodies in the
Yeah.
ship.
So we might just be in the ships like hugging each other, rejoicing, like having tears of joy, you know, and looking down at this place being destroyed. And you looking around like, damn, bro, you made it. Like, yo, we made it. Like, oh shit, you know, in a new body, like, and then we just gonna be waiting to come back down.
Yeah. And you gotta think we're gonna have our full understanding
Yeah.
and remembrance and stuff.
It's gonna be like when it says that in Corinthians, you shall be changed in the twinkling of an eye, roughly paraphrasing. It's gonna be mad quick, like, you know, we're gonna look different in new bodies, but we're gonna have a remembrance, like, yo, we really just got delivered out of this shit. Like, oh shit. And then you probably gonna see nukes hitting this place, boom, 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 like, and the Lord might have it to where when you in the chariot, you don't feel nothing. Like, you don't feel no vibrations or no. The chariots ain't gonna be fucking shaking like a plane and shit, you know, because it's gonna be built to withstand that. So we might just be looking, and it might just seem like it's a silent destruction, but it's really making noise.
With our eyes shall we see the reward of the wicked.
Yeah, that's just me visualizing, like, you know, the chariots could be fucking soundproof. I don't know, but the way we gonna see it, Lord willing, of the elect is gonna be beautiful. But
For the Most High hath avenged you on her. And the mighty, well, hey, the Lord is going to avenge his elect, which cry unto him night and day. You know? And a mighty angel took up a stone like a great millstone and cast it into the sea, saying, Thus with violence shall that great city Babylon be thrown down, and shall be found no more at all.
yeah, we need salvation, man. We gotta get the fuck out of here, yo. 'Cause this place is. I mean, see what I'm saying? Look at this shit. I gotta get this shit. It's crazy. It's crazy, man. But if you think about it, that's actually a good flag. It makes sense, right? Because that's what this place upholds and represents. So it's actually not madness. That's a good flag right there, right? Because that's what this place represents. They have laws in place for that, right? You can't just mistreat that. You could get locked up for hate crimes and all types of shit. So that actually makes sense.
That show you that he saw out of order, man.
Yeah.
I wouldn't let my girl walk around wearing that shit.
Fuck no.
I'm not about to take that shit off.
Now back then, this place, they was against it back then. Way back then, it wasn't looked at like that, like it is today.
This is Revelation. Luke 18:7.
He wants her to have a free spirit, brother. Go ahead.
Shall not the Most High avenge his own elect, which cry day and night unto him, though he bear long with them? I tell you that he will avenge them speedily. Okay, that's why the time that we have, that we see is different compared to the Heavenly Father. Man. We see time differently.
The day of the Lord is 1,000 years, and 1,000 years is a day.
Well, hey, he's going to avenge us in 1 hour. That's all it's going to take.
Yep.
Nevertheless, when the Son of Man cometh, shall he find faith on the earth? That's what Shai is looking for, man. You know, faith.
And you're only going to find that amongst the elect. This earth right now, this current state is a bunch of faithless people. believe in their own hearts. And the scriptures tell us the heart is deceitful above all things. But in this society, it's definitely going as the office, the do as thou wilt spirit.
Oh, this is a good precept. Isaiah 5:21. Woe unto them that are wise in their own eyes,
Yep.
and prudent in their own sight.
And that's why these people are marching. They're wise in their own eyes and prudent in their own hearts. They don't want, basically, they saying they don't want nobody above them. That's basically what they're saying.
Thinking with their emotions, man. You know?
Well, Yahweh Shai is getting ready to be above you fucking devils, man. You're going to have to accept that. That's one king you're going to have to accept. You fuck around and protest in the kingdom and see what happens to your ass. You want to try to make a sign in the kingdom, talking about some no kings, and see if we don't erase you. You know? You're going to keep our holy days. You're going to keep our laws, our statutes, and commandments. And you're actually going to be better off. Okay? Because we're not going to put, give me a crazy ingredient that you see on the back of something.
Sodium benzoate.
Yeah. You're not going to see that. Yeah, sodium, sodium, yeah, you're not going to see that on the back of anything in the foods in the kingdom of heaven.
Disodium phosphate.
Disodium phosphate. They said that phosphate shit is used for paint. And they put it in all the foods, man. All right? You niggas ain't gonna be eating no more seafood boils. That shit is gonna be cut. All right?
Seafood boil, man. You walk into a seafood boil, it makes you want to throw up. You're not supposed to eat shit like that. You know? The Most High gave us a sense of smell. Okay? So we can sense things. Okay? That's why it's called a sense. You know, just like if something smells like poison, you ain't supposed to put it in your mouth.
Go ahead, what was you at?
But we're at Revelation 18. We're pretty much finished up on that.
Yeah, go to the top.
Yeah, I ain't even got that. Man, I'm missing all the book pages.
That just means
I gotta get another sword.
That just means you use your Bible.
Or I gotta bring the big one.
Got it, bro? Go ahead.
It's the book of Revelation, chapter 18, verse 2. And he cried with a mighty voice, saying, Babylon the great is fallen. It is fallen and is become the habitation of devils, and the hole of every foul spirit, and the cage of every unclean and hateful bird. For all the nations have drunk of her wine, and of the wrath of her fornication, and the kings of the earth have committed fornication with her, and the merchants of the earth are waxing rich through the abundance of her delicacy.
When we understand that the correct way to break that down, we know that the philosophies are representation. The wine is a representation of her philosophies and the ways of life, and ultimately the image that this place presents. And the nations have drunken of her wine. They've taken on that. They've taken on the philosophies and the ways of this place, and a lot of them have even developed democracy-like societies. And if not, it's been forced on them, right? But now that we're at the end, everybody's pretty much saying, fuck this place. They doing their own thing. They breaking off and doing their own thing and forming their own alliances because America's been completely revealed.
And you had Mexico, the president of Mexico said he's taking his California back, and New Mexico taking the parts.
Yep.
I don't know how.
Yeah, well, but at least he got the spirit on him to say that, you know, like that's because they like fuck that, man. This place ain't no good, you know. Even we was brought over here on slave ships, right? And all the tribes have some form of captivity here, but a nigga is supposed to. If you look at what they did to the house of Judah, they should have it the best, right? But nah, it's not set up to be that way. You in the land of your captivity, you still get the slop. Go ahead.
And I heard another voice from heaven saying, "Come out of her, my people, that you be not partakers of her sins, and you receive not of her plagues."
And we know that goes into what we was just talking about, us being beaten up into the chariots. Come out of her, my people, is symbolic for the deliverance. That you be not partakers of her plagues is going into the destruction. You got to be delivered from that destruction, the ultimate plague, the seventh trump. Go ahead.
For her sins have reached unto heaven, and the God and Yahweh have remembered her iniquities. Even as she rewarded you, and double unto her according to her works. And the cup which is filled have filled to her double.
To her double, so double according to her works. All right. It says her judgment have reached up into the skies. So America's rap sheet goes up to the heavens, man. Long ass rap sheet. Go ahead.
How much she had glorified herself and lived deliciously, so much torment and sorrow give her.
So torment, sorrow, desolation, destruction, a great judgment is all promised to America. Go ahead.
So much torment and sorrow give her, for she hath said in her heart, I sit a queen, and am no widow, and shall see no sorrow.
In this place, like it said, you shall be no longer be known as the Lady of Kingdoms. But the pride of thine heart have deceived thee. You think that ain't shit gonna happen to you. You think that no judgment is gonna come upon you.
Yeah. And that's the thing. They boast.
They boast.
Just having a month called Pride Month. I got a precept. Go back to that.
Yeah, go ahead.
Just having a month called Pride Month is crazy.
Pride. Scriptures say pride go up before destruction.
And they walk around saying, happy pride to each other and shit.
Good.
You're supposed to be humble. This in the book of 2 Corinthians chapter 8, verse 49 50. For many great miseries shall be done to them in the latter time that shall dwell in the world, because they walked in great pride. All you see is pride out here, and it say all these great miseries gonna happen for something what they say in this world so simple is just having pride. All this the LBGT parade, that's pride. Going to these protests, that's pride.
The Lord is looking for those that have
Supporting
contrite spirit, man.
that abortion, that's pride.
Yep. That's the number one killer of Jake, is that abortion, man, killing their own babies. You know?
Well, it used to be a statistic. I don't know how true it is anymore, but they said it should still be true about abortion being the number one killer of black men. So that would mean the black woman is the number one killer of black men.
They the enemy. If you can't see Eve the enemy, then you ain't got your eyes open.
Right.
How they support, just like you had Eve right there, supporting them on the hard, like, hey, they won't do that with us.
Right. Yeah, you won't. Hey, how shine, follow around.
And you got these Israelite camps that are just, they got their head up the black.
I just had Eve in the store tell me that I look homeless when I'm out there teaching the Bible. But I got a job. Like,
right.
You know I got a job. Then, when you out there, you be looking homeless. So what?
Yep. Hey, it says the scriptures tell us that we will look as fools.
But see, that was pride, because she really damn near homeless.
Yeah, jacked up in the world.
She jacked up out here,
compliments in the spirit, by the way. When people say stuff like that, these are all compliments in the spirit, and it's all noted.
And did she know you like that?
Yeah, I know her.
Oh,
But it was Satan. I could see, like,
Yeah.
I
it's
never
not
had
supposed to be presumptuous.
I
right?
never had an interaction with. I knew her for like 15, 20
She
years.
tried to startle you
Yeah.
by by saying that you look like this when you out there. You probably should stop doing that. That's basically what she was saying, you know. But the scriptures tell us, you know, rather she's saying brothers look homeless, or we'll say we was gonna be fools for Yahweh Shai's sake. And like I said, you can't be not saying you per se, but you can't be ashamed to be out here and teaching amongst the people, because the reward is gonna be so crazy. It's gonna be like, shit, what I'm ashamed for.
Yeah.
Like, I know what's coming, you know. So you can't have that spirit on you.
She don't got a hedge when
Exactly.
when
That's
these
another thing, yep.
great miseries that's coming to this earth come.
Yep.
She don't got a hedge.
Her legs gonna be wide open, ready to get shot.
Yeah.
Wow. You know.
Yep.
She might get ravished.
Yeah.
The Lord might have
Might
it to where
not
she
get
go-
ravished.
Yeah.
she hopes she
They
get
might
ravished.
turn her around on her.
They good. They gonna put her down.
But yeah, she might get overtaken by a mob of men, and they might just, you know, dissect her.
Right. So hey,
A couple years ago, let me just get this.
scriptures say, how Shai said, you deny me before men, I will deny you before my father.
It's on 2 Nephi chapter 8, verse 50. For many great miseries shall be done to them that dwell in the latter time in the world, because they have walked in great pride. But thou, for thyself, seek out the glory in such as be like thee.
Yeah, many great miseries. I didn't catch that when you read it. Read that part again.
For many great miseries shall be done to them that in the latter time shall dwell in the world, because they walk in great pride.
Yeah, in this society they have a saying, "I'll put you out your misery." That means that they will kill you. So the Lord said many great miseries, many great killings, in different forms of judgment is going to come upon these people that walk in great pride. Like you just said, they got something that we're in P month, right? Where you get to walk around and be as prideful as you want. You gonna be caught up. You want to walk in great pride. You're gonna be caught up in the miseries that the Lord is gonna bring.
This is Revelations 18 and 8. Therefore shall her plagues come in one day: death, mourning, famine, and she shall be utterly burnt with fire. For strong is Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai
Who judges
to
her?
judge her.
And fire is the most beautiful cleansing agent that the Lord created. And this is how you know that the Lord is the ultimate power. They say the two worst ways to die is by drowning and by catching fire. We know that the first death, the Lord sent the water. He sent the flood. He drowned hella people, right? That was the first death, and now the second death, he's going to send thermonuclear destruction, fire and brimstone from heaven all over again. So that's how you know fire and water is. Hey, that's how the Lord has got it set up.
The scriptures say in Revelation 11 and 8, and their dead bodies shall lie in the street of the great city, which spiritually is called Sodom and Egypt. We haven't brought this one out in a minute, man. Which spiritually is called Sodom and Egypt, where also our Lord was crucified.
And that's this place
Look at
spiritually.
that sign right there.
I couldn't get it.
Excuse me.
She probably tired, man. She like her legs hurt. But yeah, this place is spiritually called Sodom and Egypt because the way its ways represent Sodom and Egypt. You know, where our Lord was crucified. And I work in a Catholic hospital, man. I see all types of idols, man. From the Lord to the different apostles and prophets, fucking idols everywhere in that place.
Spiritually called Sodom and Egypt, man. This place carries after all the characteristics of those places, as well as Babylon.
Now we're gonna close up on that one.
This is Revelation 9 and 6. And in those days
gonna be so hectic out here.
Yeah, people will be looking for ways to die, but
You
the
know
Lord's
it's-
gonna take it from you.
You know it's bad when a man wants to die, man. That's like, yo, because now everybody, if you look around society, these people don't want to die. They want to live, like you said. You want heaven to come tomorrow? No, I want to live my life. People don't want to die, right? It's actually natural for a person to feel that way. But in these times, it says that men are going to seek death. So that's how bad it's going to be out here, man. I mean, if you really can grasp that precept, that is a horrific time. That means you either gonna be you're gonna either be starving, or it's gonna be some type of judgment to where you ready to give up the ghost. And that's a scary thing. That's why it tells us that to fear the Lord, because you don't want to be on that side. But
And in those days shall men seek death and shall not find it.
the Lord gonna purpose to keep your ass alive.
And shall desire to die, and death shall flee from them.
Nah, you gonna live out your judgment, nigga. Nah, you gonna suffer. That's why we always say in the time of calamity, a bullet in the head is the easy way out. That's the if the Lord gonna be preserving them bullets. Nah, you ain't getting no bullet in the head. You gonna suffer this way. You gonna suffer that way. I'm gonna make death flee from you. I'm gonna make that death angel hold off on you, and you gonna sit there and suffer. That's how the Lord is gonna be moving out here, man. Go ahead, bro.
I got something going with this. I got something going with what you just said.
Yep.
We're gonna hold off the bullet.
Yep.
It's the book of 1 Samuel chapter 2, verse 3. Talk no more so exceedingly proud. Let not arrogancy come out of your mouth. For Yahweh is the power of knowledge, and by him actions are way.
So that also proves that the Lord is not with pride, man. Pride and arrogance and that haughty spirit, that's the same spirit that America has on it. Pride, haughty, like you like to flaunt yourself. Those ways are gonna be put out to earth.
It's the book of Daniel, chapter 4, verse 17. This is the matter of the decree of the watchers, and the demand by the word of the holy ones, to the intent that the living may know that the Most High rules in the kingdom of men. The Most High rules in the kingdom of men and gives it to whomsoever he will, and set up over it the basis of men.
Yep, the Most High ruleth in the kingdom of men. And that's why Esau Edom is in power right now, because he set him up. But the same way he set him up is the same way he set him, he's going to bring him down. You know? That's what Esau does. He'll go in the Middle East. He'll put up a puppet leader, and if they don't like what he's doing, he'll kill him. Put him down. Right?
That's
So,
what they did to Iran after they got control of their oil fields after like 60 years. After World War II, they got control of their oil fields back. And then it's like, man, fuck that.
right.
Killed that nigga.
Killed him, yeah.
Put it, motherfucker, dude that was gonna keep giving them their bread.
Like everybody who was afraid of Bin Laden, they was kept showing pictures of how him and Bush was cool.
Yeah.
Like, but the whole world was scared of this nigga though. But him and Bush, they having dinner and shit. Bush probably knew the nigga kids. You know what I'm saying? Like it was
But that shows you the power of the media. Because
Yeah.
they had him over here, and then they just turn you into the boogeyman, and people will act like they forgot that he was just here.
Yep.
That's how they get, look, they just put Zion talking some, oh, Zion been raping bitches. No,
Yeah.
Zion got to rape bitches.
Right. I got 200 M's, but I gotta fight for some box. Come on, man. I could get pretty much whatever I want. But yeah, man, and that media is definitely dangerous. The media is the middleman between the people and the elite. And the elite use that media to weaponize things and to fuck with your mind. That's why you gotta be awake. You know? So hey, with that, we're gonna give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem Kakadash. All right, double honor to the apostles and elders of the great millstone that taught us this truth through the Holy Spirit. Peace and blessings and salutations to the elect. Lord willing, we'll see you next week. Shalom.